Hello, test, 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 1 2 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2. It says I'm live. It says I'm live. Can anyone hear me in the chat? While that is going on, I'm gonna create a new repo here. New repository. Private for now. Oh, you never know. Should probably be public. Should be plugged or not, I don't know. Start private for now. Nah, let's do public. Choose a license. MIT. Boom. Sure, readme. Create repository. Is anyone there in the chat? Yes or no? Oh, viewer's not available. I don't know. Guess I'll talk to myself for a little bit. What's up, Ben? Let's open up source tree. So if I do clone, paste the URL, browse, new folder. Alright, that's done. Let's create a new solution. Boom, here. Writer. So, is anyone there and how are you doing today? Let's go. Type anything in the chat. Yeah. Oh, just want to know if I'm alone in the world or not. Probably am. That's all good. Solution folder. So I just hey man, yes. Got the first chat message. Let's go. Hey man, Bex Zabi, what's up? What's up? So I just created this. I called it "À qui la chance." It's a wordplay in French. So we're gonna be making a slot machine game. I don't know what's gonna, you know, not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I'm just playing around. But hey, you never know. I think it just kind of be interesting to do something like this with like real luck, and it'd be a good exercise, even just like programming wise, to do like expected value stuff and just making sure that you're profitable and but also like good payoffs and stuff like that. So that's kind of the point. Put solution together. I'll just do this. I think I'll create an extra folder, but I'll deal with that afterwards. So yeah, that's what I don't want. Put solution and project together. No, that's not what I want. So basically I want this, but the folder already exists. So I'll just do temp and I'll deal with that later. .NET 5 Docker support. Nope. That's cool. So I'm actually going to close Writer real quick and just put it back in the folder because right now I have kind of like this extra folder I don't want. So if I open this up, what happened? Oh, okay, I screwed up, but that's fine. And what I want to do is actually do this, do that. I want to copy this stuff, or I want to cut it out, go back to here, go back to there. This is not the same one. Did I screw up? I think I did. One sec. Oh, did I think I, can I control Z? No. I think I screwed up. One sec. Yeah, so that's not going to work. Let's do it again. Clone. My god, I can't believe I failed this hard. Why did I cut out the wrong thing? I don't know. This source directory, and then workspaces. Key the shells. Okay, and now what I actually want to do is, hey Isaac, thanks for coming on. Boom. There we go. Alright, so now I actually have a solution and a project, so that's actually what I wanted. So now that is the case, I'm just going to open this up, and I don't know why with the new version of Writer installed, it doesn't really pick up the solution files too well. So, and it asks me this every time. So it's like every time you open up a solution, it's like, can you trust this? I'm like, of course I can trust this, man. But whatever. Oh, it's all good. No, I require every second of your time. Every second of your time, your eyeballs on my stream, or else I'll be real mad, real mad. All right. No, it's all good. I assume what's gonna happen is, people are gonna carry on with their day. Maybe put it in the background, and some people will look at it attentively or something like that. Can you not disable that file? Can you not disable that in the file properties? Probably. Do I want to put the time to investigate that right now? I do not. But I probably can do something about it. I just like complaining about it. I think it's a good way to cope. I don't know. Just being lazy right now. Cool. So the plan for today. I won't even blink. Jeez. I'm historically bad at staring contests, unless blinking is permitted. In that case, it can be pretty good. So the plan for today. So when I like to turn my brain off, I've been watching XQC, which is a streamer on Twitch, and he's starting to gamble like a degenerate. And part of that is kind of sad, but the other part of that, I thought about, like, I've been kind of looking at it a little bit, and I feel like a lot of games are kind of, the behavior's somewhat hard-coded, and like, for example, I feel like okay, so this kind of be hard to explain if you haven't checked that out, and I haven't played slot machines in my life, so I don't know what I'm talking about either. But there's kind of like bonuses, so you like spin the slot, and if you get three of a like a rarer thing, you can get into the, like this bonus mode, and then this bonus mode is like where you can make a lot of money apparently. And it seems like there's some games like have a minimum threshold of money they can win in those kind of like side games. And to me, that just indicates that they have to do some manipulation of. Yeah. That's why I started watching him, because I didn't realize he was from Quebec. Because it's like XQCOW. I didn't realize the QC was Quebec. So yeah, that's why I started watching him. He's from near where I was raised. And so what was I saying? Yeah, and I feel if there's like a minimum threshold, that means they manipulate a lot of the roles that you get to control their margins. And it feels like it's kind of like this false game where you think you have the chance to, you think like any spin you can kind of win, but I feel a lot of gambling or slot machine games are kind of fixed in some way. That doesn't mean you can't win money, but I feel they're fixed, and they heavily titrate the expected value in the earnings. So what I want to do is I want to make, because I did see him play other games, and some other games are like they seem very random. Like the variance is huge. And there's no like minimum, like you can get like they have the other bonus thing. I think it's something that all these slot machine games have, and like sometimes they get like this bonus thing and then they get fuck all, like they think you're gonna win big and they have like nothing, and that kind of indicates me that there's like, it's truly random. They can legitimately spin and you never really know what you're gonna get, and the way that they would profit is they have well, they still control expected value. So maybe out of all the combinations of the things you can get, that out of the combinations over a huge number, then you're gonna win. The user is only going to get an expected value, like for every dollar they put in, they'll get like 90 cents back. I think that's what I googled, so I'm not sure it's a hard number or not, but it seems like the expected value of these slot games is like 90%. So, which is like terrible if you if you're actually playing the game. But like things like blackjack have, the house only has a very small edge. And that's why they're very popular at the casinos, because the person who's playing the blackjack, there's a lot of variance, and it's almost like a fair game where you have like 50% of the chance to win, 50% of the chance to lose. But in blackjack, you have a small edge of like 0.5% or something like that, or 1%, and that's why it's such a desirable game, because you can actually gamble, and it's not very like, it's hard to fix. Like, I guess you can like fix the cards, but I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how a casino is actually going to rig the thing. Anyways, so the point with this game is I can actually look at it as like a statistical game where I know exactly what the all the probabilities are. Like all the slot machines are not fully random. I think the percentage of return is actually regulated by Lotto Quebec. But that would suck. Yeah, that's the thing with Quebec, It's, yeah. Well, I mean, if ever I want to do this, I can just, partner up with someone in the United States, put it on the internet. If it's on the internet, it's whatever, it's... I don't know. I'm not really thinking that far, I'm just having fun here, but you never know. Anyway, so the point is, what if I make a game that's legitimately random, and you have a pretty good expected value. Still, I would be making money, but you would have instead of 90% return on your dollar, maybe, or not return, it'd be like, you know, you keep 90% instead of making 90% of your money. But let's say it's like 93%, 94% or something like that. Maybe it's something that, you know, you can actually enjoy from time to time, because like these days slots, I would never put my money in a slot machine. Like it just wouldn't make sense. But if it was like 90% and I knew it was truly random, maybe, you know, throw in a few bucks and, you know, just have some fun. I don't know. So that's kind of the idea of today, and I think it'd be pretty good exercise in F sharp. So that was the whole point. Before all, like actually making it, I think it'd be interesting. So at a high level, what I want is, well, this is huge. I guess I'll leave it like that so it can be easier to read. So there's this thing. I'm just going. So like the I like to brainstorm is, I'm just going to write a lot of facts, and it might not be related or anything. So I know I have this expected value. I know it'll relate to a percentage, and you know, there's probably going to be money. I don't know why I'm starting with measures. I would never start with this, but whatever. So last time I did the poker thing, and I had a lot of, like, I think I did that in the past, and so it was a lot easier kind of to think about. This time I'm kind of going fully blind, so it's going to be a lot more talking, a lot more thinking, and I think people actually like that. So maybe not. I don't know. I think some people, when I do like the fixed thing, it's not just here, it's regulated anyway. Okay, cool. What was I gonna say? Yeah, this time I'm going blind, and I wasn't supposed to stream. I was supposed to, like, you know, clean up and be responsible, but I guess I'm not gonna do that today. Yeah, so I'm going at this blind. It's going to be a lot of thinking. People said they kind of like to listen to the thought process as well. So, you know, we're going to have a slot column. And this slot column is probably going to have, like, I don't know, a slot icon. Slot item. Item's not good. It's kind of like the thing, the actual picture, pictogram. Slot value. Let's leave icon for now. Yeah, this is like our. So it's gonna be a sequence of that. Sec. And obviously there's not this. This is going to be like this huge DU, I think. So I think all of these games have kind of like ace, king. I don't know why it's suggesting me things. It shouldn't. And all of these games have kind of like other, you know, other icons in this. So like for now, I don't know. You can do like because obviously I'm not thinking about branding or something, but like special 1, and then you can do this like multiple times, like 2, 3, and 4. Like you don't know like what it's gonna be or anything like that, but and a way I would probably do it is, let's say I have a sequence. Is the audio good, by the way, and stuff like that? Like, am I speaking too loud? Is music too loud? Anything like that? Cool. So the way I thought about this, because I kind of thought a little bit about it, is like, let's say you have a slot, you know, so on the screen itself. So if I want to do like a comment, I'll do this. So on the screen itself, let's say I put 6 columns. I think a lot of them have 5. But since I'm trying to do something that's like not rigged, there has to be a lot of possibilities. And that way you can actually have like very short probabilities of having a huge outcome. I know it says 777. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you want 7? Nah, screw it. Well, whatever. I don't really care, but you know, special 7, whatever. I'll just put. I kind of agree with what you're saying. I know what you meant, but whatever. Screw it. Let's just leave it out for now. Tilting me. So okay, the thing I was gonna say is, if you have like 6 columns, and you have many possibilities, then you can finally titrate what the expected value is going to be. Because like out of all those possibilities, now you have to, you know, if you're gonna monetize it, like a bet is gonna have a cost, and each of the slot icons, which are probably it's probably a horrible name for it at this point, but they'll have a value, and if you can like have a row of them, or if you have one of them in each of the columns, there's going to be like a multiplier and stuff like that. So out of all those odds over like what's the average return out of each of those possibilities, and then divide that with you know, so what you get out of it versus what you put in should be 95 or 94% or something like that. It's kind of the way it is. I think we have a lot of things to do before we get there. So let's say sequence. If we put like each one of these in the sequence for now, right? So do like this, and then this is a cool thing. If you do control, you can actually have multiple cursors. And this should implicitly yield. So now I have a sequence of slot icons. An idea is you want like the special ones to be much rarer than these ones, right? So I don't know if it should be like exponentially rarer or not. I don't know if it's going to be linear or not. Like let's say there's one of these, then should be like 2 of these. Like should it be 4 of these and then 8 and then whatever, or should it be, you know, that's kind of like the decisions, and that's where what's important is actually writing the test first, in this case, or the profitability model first, and then you can make a bunch of experiments. That's kind of how I see things. So I think the way it's going to be is I'm going to write the test of profitability first. Just make sure that's always good, because like I said, I was actually making a game. That's kind of like, you know, it has to be fun, but it has to be profitable. Like I can't lose money. I have to make sure the expected value is not like you know, $1.20 for every dollar that you put in, or else, you know, I'm going broke. You know, my life's not gonna be in a good position, stuff like that. Anyway, so that's kind of the thing I have to focus on first. And let's say this is a screen, and let's say you have, so this is a column, so the first column, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then you can have like, whatever, I'll put like a separator, and then it can be like ace, I'll put T for 10, and then I don't know, queen, and then 3 for special 3 or something like that, and then you just get a bunch of these. Then you can like copy this. I don't think it's gonna copy well. Yeah, that's not gonna copy too well. Oh, I can do this, and I can do this, and if I copy this, yeah, let's go. All right, cool. So that's kind of some cursor tricks if you're not aware. Obviously, if I rolled this, it would break the bank pretty hard. So that's probably something to think about. Is And what I've been studying from these games, and when I mean studying, I mean very limited. Very limited. I have no idea what I'm doing, so please keep that in mind. This one of the slots are actually constant. The slot columns are always in the same. You can't have that random. Well, you probably could if it's rigged and stuff, but it's best not to have it random. It's best to have it laid out in a certain way to avoid the odds of collisions like this. Because if I have like the same slot, the same column in each of these columns, like all these icons in the same order, and let's say it's like, you know, imagine a big wheel and you're like pulling the slot, and each wheel has like the same icons back to back. You'll have many opportunities of this, and this will break your bank pretty hard, right? You don't want this to be possible, so you know you have to mix it up. But just out of laziness, I just wanted to show what, you know. So it would be 6 columns and maybe 4 high, maybe. I feel like if I do it like this, it'll just look too crammed. Anyway. Cool. And you know what? This might be like a decent first version UI instead of like doing it in web first. Make it do like a console client first, maybe. Could be a good idea. Cool. So let's think about the expected value tests. So, given a configuration of slot columns, and I'm going to actually make a record here. So icons, because this is going to be like private. You know, well, obviously I'm just going to script this out for now, but so the private doesn't really mean anything. But eventually the creation, there's only going to be like a, you know, they're going to be predefined. I'm not going to like create them on the fly. So given a configuration, so a slot type, slot configuration, and it'll probably be like a tuple, a privately constructed tuple. Oh, it's a slot column configuration. Slot columns. Basically, I'm trying to make a type to represent the 6 of these. Whatever. Slot column configuration. You know, I could make a list of columns here. Hey, your name is literally a bunch of letters. Degomon, something. What's up? I always thought like when I listen to people saying names, I'd be better than them, but I guess not. And I think I want my columns to be like exactly 6. So I don't want to. Well, I could use a list, but I think it'd just be annoying to work with. I didn't know like if there was a first, second. Is there a third? Guess not. Well, we can always make these. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use a tuple here. Yeah, and I'll just write the like auto open extensions to access whatever if. Yeah, it's an old form. Oh, okay, cool. Didn't know that. slot column, and I'll just repeat this, I guess. For now, might change, you know. So that's 1, 2, 3, and maybe I can put them on another line, maybe not. 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. The only reason, I mean, I could probably just use a list. I'll privately construct it. Yeah, screw it. Screw it. Screw it. Screw it. Screw it. I can even use an array. Yeah, I'll use an array. Screw it. I'm not going to like torture myself with that. So like this, you know, whatever. If you're working with other people, it can be like always has 6 items, and then you can like, well, what you could do is get like member functions on here. You can be like first, and then you can have like only 6. So that's like the only way they can access the resource. So it will never fail. That's actually not a bad idea. I don't know how necessary it is in my context because I'm just some dude scripting, but 4th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, then whatever. Not sure how necessary that was. Then you can do like private and since this is going to be a private, I don't have to validate too much because I'll know it'll always have 6 items, so it can be like x dot columns that item, or what's it get? Is it get an array? Oh, I can just literally index. Yeah. Boom. And on each of these, I'll just do x dot. And at this point, I realize this is totally not important because it was literally a one-liner. So 0. And I should probably, you know, done this before, but whatever. Cool. And then when you actually create it, whatever. Well, you know what? What the interesting is, I don't actually have to create a. Since it's basically going to be a singleton-ish for now. If I have like this bonus feature, it won't. You're gonna have like variations of this. So I'll have like a, you know, if I do the haha, if I actually do the like the kind of bonus round I was talking about, I will have a separate slot configuration. So I'll probably have like 2 instances of these, and so I'm not going to have like a publicly facing constructor. That wouldn't make sense, or whatever, you know, it's fine. So I'll keep it like this for now. I don't actually have to have real data. Cool. And yeah, cool. So what I was doing is, and for now, like in mind, I'm still trying to write this expected value function, right? Type get expected value is equal to give me a slot column configuration, and eventually give me the bet size is not important, so all the prices, the payouts and stuff should be a function of the bet value. Okay, so that's a good fact to have. So it'll be proportional to your bet value. So let bet is equal to, you know, amount, and then this can just be a decimal in reality, it's going to be int. I don't think people are going to be betting like, oh no, never mind. That's a dumb thing. Of course, people are going to be betting like cents and stuff like that. So it's going to be $1 amount. And you know, it's important to constrain this because I don't think people are going to be betting like $23.67, right? It's going to be like 1 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent. Like that's actually going to be all the possible values eventually, maybe. So I'm making these private. Notice I'm putting a lot of things private. It just makes things easier to consume. I'm always thinking about writing the code for consumption. Consumption can be someone else writing the code, or it can be the actual user. So that's like in the context of like a user interface or an API or something like that. I think that's the value of like test-driven development in my mind. Well, it's also to make the code testable. Like people often write code and try to find out how they'll write the tests later. And the penny's gone too. Yep, never seen that penny again. Oh, do you mean like in Canada? Yeah, but this will be a software game, so I don't know if that's what you meant. Okay, yeah. Good old pennies, man. I actually have a $2 bill. A paper $2 bill. I used to work in a grocery store, and I saw someone had a $2 bill, and I was like, well, I never saw that in my life. And I exchanged it for like a normal $2. Yeah, it is. Okay, no, it's not actual coins. Well, maybe eventually, but yeah. Yeah, the red one. I don't know if it'll be worth anything, but yeah. Pennies have been gone. Yeah, it's actually 10 years ago now. Jesus Christ, man. I remember I was working in that job, the groceries. Yeah, and I was 17, so it must be 10 years ago. Time flies, man. Time flies. Cool. And then, given the slot configuration, I'm thinking like there'll probably be some function to take whatever you get from the slot, what's showing, because there's going to be like another structure. Get what are the showing, like what's the like result? What's like the result of what you spun or what you chained or whatever it's called? And so maybe this should not take. Oh yeah, no, this should take an expected value thingy, but there'll probably be some construct here, like some analyzer or some payout analyzer. Right? Let's screw it. Let's call it that. A payout analyzer. Which, you know, I don't know what this thing is yet. I think this payout analyzer. This payout analyzer will take only this thing, these things here. So it'll take I don't know what the individual action of turning and getting a result is. A showdown. Like in poker, you show your hands at showdown. Where, nah, I don't think it's a good word for it. Well, it can do showdown for now, but like turn result. Yeah, a turn. How? Okay, so you pull the lever, and then you get a result. I don't know how to call that. You know, this is the hardest part, man, of programming, and I'm glad I'm filming it live. Finding the damn names for things, man. So difficult. Like, I wonder how much, well, I guess some people don't spend too much time on naming things, but I think it's kind of important. Not as in, like, grammar Nazi kind of way, but like a, you know, spin results, fine. But the problem with result in F# programming is, it's often, you know, you have the result type, and it's kind of annoying to discriminate between those, but like, okay, so spin value, spin showdown, spin display. I like display, you know, because it tells you like this is what's the displaying after spin. But result is good. Result would be the correct word, I think. So let's call it spin result for now. Screw it. So spin result. And I think what it'll be is it'll take a configuration. I think the spin result contains the slot column configuration. This it'll need it for that. Well, that's the thing. Is there's two ways to implement this. We can either have like, you know, we have 4 columns, and each of the columns has 4 whatever I call this slot icon, which I'm dying to change that name. Or I give it all the column configurations, and I give them the indices of where they fell. In those 2 ways, you can reconstruct whatever this is. But does the spin result need to know what all the other values are? I don't think so. So I think I'll opt for literally a 4x6 matrix of the thingies. Possible error. Machine breaks. Now it's a yeah. Yeah. Machine breaks because someone slammed their foot through the screen. Yeah. Okay, so it's only going to be a 4x6 matrix of this. I want a type to document the length of the screen and how many columns there are. Do I need that? Let's make it simple now and make it complicated later. So I still have columns. So to be honest, it's exactly going to be this type. But I'm going to do hard-code it like this. Yeah, I'm literally going to do this. Except it's not going to be columns, it's going to be rows. So it's going to be a... Okay, this is going to be a wheel. This is going to be a slot wheel. So the wheel has all the possibilities, and this column is only going to be the results. And it's not going to be, so there's going to be slot column. Slot result column. That's good, that's good. Slot result column. And columns here, and this is going to be slot icon, and it's going to be an array, because it doesn't have to be like lazily evaluated. And this is actually going to be rows. Private first, second, and then there's only going to be 4 of these. Now, does this hard code like the number of rows you have or anything? I think that's kind of the trade-off. You either have safe types, and maybe I'm wrong. There's probably a way to do it with it. You either have safe types or you have dynamic number of rows. Because if you want a dynamic number of rows, then you can just use a list. there's probably a way to do it. Yeah, I think I should probably figure out a way to. Well, you know, I think figuring out the way with just removing this and making. I'll leave it like this. Screw it. I don't want to. I don't want to make it extensible for now. I don't want to make the number of rows and columns extensible. Because I want to say, given the game is going to look like this, it's kind of like, okay, I have this cool example. And I say this a lot of time to like demonstrate my point. I had an exam in university. That I was like in my late university and stuff, and I had an exam. We had to build a calendar in Java, and it had to be like we were studying all the design patterns and stuff like that. But I'm an idiot, and I kind of like over designed everything. So my design could literally have like 13 months if I wanted to. Like it was extensible that way, you know. It's like, oh, it's so extensible, and you know, if I add a month, then the code is still good, you know. And the truth is, you know, a Gregorian calendar should not be designed to be extensible month-wise, you know. It should be extensible year-wise. Like you should be able to have a, you know, because we have years every, you know, year, you know, every new year. And like if you make the design extensible to add like change things that aren't changed in real life, it's a bad design, I feel. And so I feel like the trade-off of having a private array and just having functions to access the whatevers, that's fine for me. If I really wanted to, I could slam an interface, and just have like my implementation has all the members, but you can only access it via the interface. And then the day you want to change the number of rows, then you just change the interface, and it makes the next row available. But you know, or interface, or you know, have function, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'll just keep it like this. I'm way overthinking this, so it's fine. Cool. Okay, so payout analyzer takes a spin result, and I said the spin result takes, and I said configuration, but I don't want it to be a configuration anymore. I want it to be a slot an array of slot result columns. Yeah, I think I'm kind of like reusing this number of columns thing a lot. So now I'm like kind of second guessing my decision. Screw it. I'll just keep it like this for now. You can always refactor later, right? Right? Am I right? What do you think about making something extensible when it is needed and not in preparation for someday? Wait, I'll answer that question. One sec. I like it. From a reading point of view, it couldn't be clearer. Exactly. That's one of the goals as well. I am a total like clean code nerd. Kind of like a design nerd that way. That's one of the ways I try to optimize the code. What do you think about making something extensible when it's needed, not in preparation for someday? I think it's a balance. If you're absolutely 100% sure that you're going to need it, so I'll give you an example. If you know that your application is going to be facing, you know, it's a B2C thingy or business. Obviously, I should probably be using proper terms, stuff, but I don't care. If you know, like, your like market is 100 million people, and then you're writing your code, and your first implementation is not performant, you know, and it's like the thing that needs to be executed every time anyone makes a request. It's like, oh, we'll make it performant later, but like, there's no it's like almost guaranteed that that thing is going to have to be optimized. And so when you're making it at first, you should probably think about that, you know. You might you should think about some concerns up front about what is this thing I'm making and what's its requirements, like where does it place in the software, and based on yeah, just add more servers. And so, and like back in the day, like we're like, you know, that's kind of the problem with Agile sometimes is, you know, push it back, but like, you don't like, if you have to clean up your room, you should just clean up your room. You shouldn't like, you know, I'll only pick up my white shirts and I'll push back the black shirts later. Like, it's like you have to do something, do it the first time. But in your case, when you're talking about extensibility, I'm not a fan like of open close. You know, make everything open close and stuff like that. Because I mean, I think open close a lot of times is useless and it's so costly. Like everything, you put everything in dictionaries all the time and stuff like that. It makes the code impossible to know like what are the constraints and stuff. And I think things should be open close if they need to. And make it injectable. That's kind of the things with discriminated unions. It goes against open close in many ways. Like a lot of ways you'd be you use discriminated unions in F#. You'd be using interfaces and implementations in C# and stuff like that. And you know, interfaces and stuff like that are pretty good open close in the sense that you can like add another implementation for that interface and you know you're ready to go. As opposed to in F#, you add a case of a discriminated union and then you have to implement everything where it breaks. And I think that strategy of discriminated unions is best most of the time. But like you know, it's like a spectrum. Open close is like kind of a spectrum, right? And yeah, it's a balance you have to reach. So I don't think it's like a good and bad answer. I think you have to evaluate the probability of extensibility, and you know, if you damn sure, like I'll give you an example. The Stonk Watch project. I don't know if you guys check that out, but it's on. Like I build it on YouTube. I'm making this. I'll eventually be making this stock market monitoring system, and I know like I'm going to be adding and removing stocks I want to follow, and I know I'm going to be adding and removing indicators and strategies and stuff like that. Like, and like if I don't make that extensible, it'd be such a bad decision because I know for a fact that I want to change that. It's part of the requirements. So you kind of have to look at the requirements and talk with your client and whatever, and think about, you know, what's the roadmap and stuff like that. On the flip side, the roadmap always changes, and your client might not know what he wants and stuff like that. And so yeah, it comes with experience. Ideally, you make something that's easy to refactor, and you put like, you don't paint yourself into a corner. Basically, you can still make something that's not open close and not paint yourself in a corner. But like Float said, it's almost impossible to teach. It is. Judgment. I don't think it's like a linear process of thinking. It's not like logic rules and following the logic rules and stuff like that. It's not like that at all. It's a bunch of reference experiences that help you make judgment calls and strategies and stuff like that, and it's kind of complicated. So to answer your question, what do you think about making something extensible in the future? Well, it depends. Next question. Okay, so I feel like all the questions, all the answers to questions are it depends, but you know. Anyway, it's kind of why mentorship's important, because things are like too complicated. What was I doing, man? That was like an infernal rant. Okay, it wasn't an infernal rant. I was barely tilted, but you know it is. So I have a configure. This is not a configuration anymore. These are my columns, and each of these have a slot icon. Excellent. and that's fine. So I have a spin result, and that gets me a, oh, and I need to pass in a bet. And then I get a spin result, I get a bet, I get an outcome, a payout. Pretty good. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not only a life of a programmer, it's in all fields. It's kind of anywhere where there's nuance, which is everywhere. So, better learn how to think, I guess. Okay, maybe eventually we'll get to a point where we can write some tests or something. So a spin result, you have a spin result and you get your bet. Actually, you put, no, it doesn't really matter the order in this context, I don't feel. We can always change it later if it is. Payout, you get a payout. So with the slot, column configuration, and a payout analyzer, you probably pass in a number of spins you want to evaluate on. And you know, you can always do a measure. And then your type. Can be an unsigned int with this unit measure, something like that. But I want to add the measure though, no? Really? UNs can't have measures. What does the measure attribute do? It allows you to do units of measure, like this. And units of measure are kind of like tags you can put on primitive data to tell it what type of unit it is. So example, in physics, you might do, you know, meter, Newton, and then you can actually do stuff like, you know, if you do kg, and you put pounds, and then you can do equal, and actually I don't use it enough to really know this. So F sharp units of measure. So you can do like this. I don't know if you can see it. So you can be like, a milliliter is a cubed centimeter or stuff like that. Yeah. So it gives them some common method. No, it doesn't really give you functions. It makes your primitive data type safe. So if I'm like, is equal to kg. I don't know if you can do like 2.21. I don't know if you can actually do this. Expected, not unit of measure, not type. See, like I'm a total noob with this stuff, so yeah, so you can do like miles per hour. Conversions, like this would be a good thing. Like you want to do a conversion, I have pounds, I have kgs. Then I can do let pounds to kg. Then I have my you know, pounds. It's going to be equal to so you take your pounds and then you divide it by 2.21 pounds lbs kg, something like that. I think you can do this. And then if you decorate this as float, it should be a decimal of pounds. And then make this an M. So now you get a decimal of pounds to a decimal of kg. And, you know, if I don't put this, or sorry, if I try to loop this, LB to kg, and I pass in, and I pass in a 2 point, so this is a valid decimal, but this wouldn't work. It says, hey, I'm expecting a pounds here. So it kind of like helps you add more type information, and just to make sure that you're not making mistakes with unit conversions. Hopefully that explains your question. Yeah, Isaac, yeah, you're right. I thought it just provides some, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I made a mistake. I don't know. I kind of got baited. I always think there's like something you can do, because I know they put like this stuff, so I know how. I never know like what's everything you can do in this type definition. Sometimes it's not clear to me. That's kind of got baited there. But yeah, I haven't used those a lot, as you can see. I kind of like did the basic stuff with them. But units of measure in this case, when doing number of spins, is like instead of doing like a private record like this, I can just tag. Well, in this case now I can't do it because a number of spins can't be negative, and I can't put a unit of measure. I can do unit 2 maybe. No, like U16. So apparently, like I can't. This doesn't accept type arguments, so I'm kind of screwed in this case. It'd be nice to be able to do that. Maybe I don't know what's the reason with this. There's a following called UMX and represent any type. Cool. Let's try it. Compatible with Fable. That's good. F sharp UMX. Let's try that. Probably have to open up a namespace. Yeah. Probably still missing something here. uint64. Okay. So they support uint64. Let's use that. Okay. Cool. You might go down the rabbit hole here. Alright, whatever. You can always fall back on I rarely use units of measure, but on those times they're super. Yeah. I don't use it super often, as you can see. And it's kind of funny because when I started using F#, it was kind of this like, let's use F#. It has units of measure and type providers, and like, oh my god, these sound like so cool. But now you start using F# and like you realize how little you actually use those features. Just because they're kind of hard to like I feel especially the type providers. I kind of, when I started learning F#, it was kind of like the .NET Core turn. Like, a lot of the tooling didn't work really well, and I kind of like lost a lot of hair trying to get like some basic type provider for like PostgreSQL to work. That was a few years ago. I'm sure it's better now, but yeah, kind of didn't like. How can I say this? Kind of made me annoyed, and I don't like finicky magic stuff. I just like code and logic, so I tried to stick to that. Anyway, so to get the expected value, give it a number of spins, and ideally the okay. So the expected value is not correlated with the number of spins. A real result can be based on a number of spins, but not the expected value. The expected value. Well, it depends how many spins you do, but I guess. But no, it's random. You have to take account all the possibilities and divide the possibilities. So I don't think the number of spins belong in this function signature. So it might be just this that I need for the expected value. What do you guys think? This is a quiz. It's your time to answer. Do I need... What else do I need in this function signature? Go! Really disappointed. No one has started chatting yet. Really disappointed. Yeah, I hate when people do this, so I'll stop. A test, run away. Nah. Oh, a test at school, okay. I like school. Actually, that's a huge lie, my god. I like school in high school, but I didn't. I preferred the social events. Moving on. Okay, so let's play around. So currently we don't really have an analyzer. But what we can do... actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to the bathroom, one sec. So, yeah. Listen to the music. I have nothing prepared to, so it'll take 2 seconds, but I'll be right back. So I guess what I'll do for the slot configuration is I have to get all the possibilities, and then for each of the possibilities I have to check what their payout is. And I think that'll be the case. Do you work with F# outside of your YouTube channel and personal projects? Glad you asked. I just started a new job 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I write F# every day. So that's been pretty fun. I actually worked, I played golf on Friday and I came back and I actually kept working for fun. Because working on like a little component testing like computation expression. Thanks, man. It really came out at a good time, I guess. This stream is sponsored by. No, I'm kidding. I wish. Yeah, it's been pretty fun. It's yeah, I never realized how much I really enjoyed writing code. You know, I feel like time just like melts. You know, I just sit down and I check the clock and I'm already done. So it's a good thing to have. Pretty happy about it. How long have I been live? So you guys and girls enjoying this? Who am I kidding? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. If there's any girls there, I check my analytics and there's literally 99% men that watch my YouTube channel. So that's kind of what I'm kidding. I'm not, you know, just statistically. But what was I? Sorry, I'm wondering if you guys, if everyone's enjoying the stream. Just let me know if you have any feedback and stuff. You've never seen an F# listing in Quebec? If you want, there's a company called Genetech, which I used to work for. In Montreal, they have an F# team. They often post about it. I'm currently working remotely for a company in the United States. So it's not listed in Quebec. And if you're interested, you can apply. I think they're looking for more F# devs. So if that's something that interests you, you can check out my YouTube and I have a link there. Other than that, you can Google DMG. Yeah, it's been pretty fun. Cool. So I guess what I should do is this configuration should give me a sequence of all the possibilities it can have. And I say sequence. It's kind of important in this case. Why? Because sequences are lazily evaluated, and pardon me for the burp. If I have 100, if each of the columns, or sorry, each of the wheels, terminology is important here because a column is based on a result, so it's kind of like the fixed output, and the wheel is all the possibilities for a given column. So if I take all the wheels and I check all the, so if I have, look, let's do the math. So let's say I have 10 items on a wheel, which probably will never happen. Let's put at least 50. So, and I'll, oh, and if you want a F# job, you can always ask Isaac in chat. Isaac Abram, if you don't know him, he's the founder of Compositional IT, which has a good blog and it's a consultancy. I don't know if he's looking for anyone, but I'm sure from time to time he wants extra people to help. And someone and if you want a job, check out F# jobs on Twitter, and check in the Slack, the F# community Slack as well. That's another good place for jobs. Heck, I might start like posting jobs on my YouTube channel if my YouTube channel is like F# developers, and F# developers are looking for jobs. You know, might be a good avenue. So if I have a column, I have 6 columns. Each column's so n per column is 50, and I have 6 columns. That means total possibilities is 6 to the power 50 to the power 6, probably, right? They are not related. I'm way too new to F# to actually think about seeking a job using it. Actually super interested. No. Well, it depends how many years of experience you have outside of F#. Since many people that hire F# developers, since there's a lack, or it's kind of, there's a mix between a lack of developers and a lack of jobs, but since it's harder to hire F# developers, many companies will be open to C# developers who have a strong interest for functional programming, or developers have experience with another functional programming language, stuff like that. So it's kind of pretty open. You don't have to be like an F# expert to be hired. Also, what you can do is practice, do possibilities. You can there's many ways to do it. So what does this equal? 50 to the, is it this power of 6? And I think these have to be floats, unfortunately. But I want the real number though. Can I get the real number representation? So that's already 15 billion possibilities. Okay. Why did I think it was less than that? I guess I don't really need that many possibilities, do I? Maybe I do. I don't know. If I have a million players, they obviously it's luck, but if they each do 15,000 spins, and there's like a max payout of like, there's like one possibility after all of those. Yeah, some things to think about. Okay, so let's start with 50. That's good enough. Anyway, so yeah, I have to go through each of these possibilities. So if there's 15 billion items, possibilities, I'm not gonna load all that in memory. So I have to think about a way to load the sequences. Ideally, I can start with a smaller number, right? So I can start with 10. What's 10? You know, it's about a million? Yeah. Scale's pretty quick. What's 20? Is that 64 million? 20 is pretty good. Pretty good number. So I just have to make sure that most of these combinations are, well, I don't know. I just have to make sure that every probability of this, when I aggregate all of them, it gets me an expected value of around 94% to be profitable long term. And so let's do that. So let's get a sequence of each of these thingies. Each of these combinations. So how can I do that? I'll write the code here. And what I can do is I can write a unit test with a slot wheel of 2 items. So, and it's not going to be like a true unit test since I'm scripting here, but how do I build this? So a slot wheel is a sequence of slot icons. Okay. Okay. And then is it values? What is it called? Icons. Which I'm probably going to change. Okay, so this is one column, or is one wheel, and let's say I have 6 of these, and I said my configuration is columns of these. So this is one column. Let wheel and you know what? I'll probably change the name of this slot wheel configuration. And so my configuration, I can do let. So I can do wheel, pipe that into array.init. My count will be 6. My function will be, so whatever the number is, I'll give it wheel. Can't I do this? Or is it the opposite? Count. This works. Count int, yeah. Function, it takes int. Okay, it didn't take whatever. Well, I mean, I'll just do. No, hey, that works. It's supposed to work. It's probably something I'm not seeing here. Wheel this. Oh, okay, I see it now. It's kind of dumb of me. I don't pipe wheel into it. Okay. And is it not wheels? So I have a configuration here. So for this configuration, I'm expecting configuration dot So all possibilities, which doesn't exist, should be equal, and if I do sequence.count, and I don't want to do this with a large data set, or length. Should be, so this is to the power of 6 to int. Make sure I do the right order. Why is U float? You know what? I'll just fix this later. I'll just start here and I'll do it. So, member x dot this should not be a sequence, should be an array. And yeah, that's fine. So all possibilities for each of those, I kind of have to do like some deep embedded stuff, embedded loops. Trying to think of like a nifty way to do it, or like okay, let's just start. I can do like a disgusting for loop. Let's do like a disgusting for loop first. Sequence. So for I1 in x dot first do, and then for the first. Yeah, I'm gonna be so ashamed of this code for now, but you know, wait it out. This is probably not gonna be the final product. Don't worry, don't worry. I know your eyes are bleeding right now. It's fine. It's fine. Trust me. But it's kind of how it is, you know. With and then you can do, so this is going to be a sequence of results, result column, this. Oh, I just thought about it. Because, okay, since it's a wheel, Like the thing is, that's still, whatever I did is still fine. But I have to think about, so let's say for each item, okay, I don't want each item, I don't think. I think I want to play with indices. Because the thing is, yes, there will be indices, but I actually want all the items after the indices. So let's say, in this example, the indice I get, or the index I get, is like the top row. What I actually want is the index plus the next index plus the next one plus the next one. Right? Okay, so I want that, and then I want a function in a slot wheel. I kind of want the representation for that. I want to get a slot column for a given index. Yeah, I think that'll simplify a lot of things. And so, let's do that. So let's X, and then I'm just going to make sure the thingies compile. So I'll do a big fat unit here. Oh, I have to do dot, which it's not going to be the case. Just making things compile for now. Okay. This is the, can I do that? Doesn't matter. Yeah, this is the most expensive unit expression I've ever seen. Okay. So I don't know if this body I'm thinking a lot, because I didn't, you know, it's kind of what it looks like for me. Don't know how, I don't have all the answers immediately, you know. So basically for a given index, so this isn't actually, this is slot result columns. This is a slot result. Screw it. Let's do, oh no, I did that. Rows, yeah, that's fine. This is actually fine. Columns, okay, spin result is that, okay, good. So this is a single column and all the rows in the column. So for a given, here, and if I want this to be safer, let's just do it unsafe for now. So I can clean it up later. Because I want the wheel to be a circular array, or a circular sequence. The array can be fixed, but I kind of want like a sequence that I can just like, if I pass it the last index of the array, it will loop back, and so it's kind of like a module operation there. What I can do is I can do let's get next index. So you pass me an index, I'll give you the next one. So I actually did this function like 1,000 times. How it works is I do icons, and if it's a let byting, I have to member private. and then length, which should be on its own member. For an array, I think it's n of 1, so it's fine. Length, and then I do I do the module after before? I think I do. Okay, so let's get an example. If my length is 2, I pass it index 1. Then I do +1, so I get 2. Modulo length 2 is 0, so I would get 0. That's correct. If I pass in 0, I do +1, I get 2. Modulo 1 modulo 2 is 1. That's fine. Okay, I think this is fine. You can always write a unit test for that, but okay. So if I want to get the result column, this will be an array. No sense having a sequence. The number's just 4. We're gonna have 4 rows, so I don't think it's that good or that necessary to have a sequence. So what I can do is I obviously I know what to do. I'm just trying to find a way to not repeat myself here. I'll just do it. Sorry if I'm not talking here. I'm thinking a lot. And then, so basically what I'm doing is I'm making an array of 4 indices. So the first index is the one that is kind of like, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make either a list or a tuple of like the 6 indices of the wheels. And then for each of the indices, I'm going to get the icon for it. So that's basically what I'm doing. So here, the 4 indices, I start with the base one. And then I have to have a function that gets the next index, because it's kind of like a wheel. So I kind of like to turn. And then I just realized one problem. Is that since my test data has 2 wheels, or has a wheel size of 2, this function, if I want to make it testable with less wheels for less hassle, I'd have to change the code, because now it's hard coded to 4 rows. can always work my way around it. For now. Because I'm wondering how important that's actually going to be. I'm just going to move it to 4. But I do realize it's starting to be like a problem, I feel. That my code is kind of like hard-coded to be 4 rows. I should what I can do is I can kind of like inject a context. I can have like a context of the game, and then that will contain the number of rows and columns. I just feel it'll make everything much more complicated than it needs to be, since I don't feel I want to change the number of rows and columns. So I'm going to keep it at 4 for now, and I think the changes I would have to make to adjust the number of rows and columns is negligible. It's kind of comes back to like the count under thing. I don't want to make my code super extensible, like I don't know what's going on. And so I'll just change my test data to have 4. There's going to be a minimum of 4. Which I can enforce with the constructor of these wheels. Okay. So for each I, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do x dot icons, and then I'll get the I. I have to do dot and F sharp. And boom. So now I have an array of slot icons. And if I want to convert these into a slot column, I can do that. So I can do let icons. Obviously, that's going to be a bit of an issue. I can always do, so here's one of the rare times where type augmentations are kind of cool. So this function, I can define it after I define my type here, and all because these are kind of, oh, never mind, they're not related at all. So I can actually define this before that, and that'll fix my problem. There, boom, boom. Okay. Perfect. So now I have a slot result column for an indice of my wheel. Okay. So that's one step for man. And maybe it'd be better to have no, it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna be fine in this context. I'm trying to think of optimizations already, so I'll just keep it quiet for now. Slot result column. So now I have a result column for an index, and what I want is this is going to be annoying. Okay. So let me pre-allocate this. This probably can go outside of this class, but and I'll make it an array. Okay, and actually what I want is this thing. This can be static. And boom. Do I have to? Okay, guess I'll just add the name, I guess. Makes everything way longer than it needs to, but whatever. Beautiful code. No. Okay, for each one of these, I want to get and the thing is, because like the sixth one, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Some code is actually gonna reside on each of these levels to reduce. You'll see what I mean. I don't want to put all the generation of the result columns in the last loop. Each of these will get its own loop. So I1. So this should be an int. Okay, it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the result column for wheel number 1. So x dot first should be a slot wheel, and then I want to get the result column for this index 1. And so yeah, that gives me a slot result column. Oh, I put 5th. I want to put first. Is anyone super confused right now what I'm doing? I don't know. I haven't really checked in with you guys, and you guys are going silent on me, you know? Which is fine, because when I watch streams I never comment, so can't really judge other people for doing the same thing. Okay, so I have a result column for the first one, so let's actually bind this. Let boom. No, I haven't done a big nasty for loop like this in a long time. Long time. Might eventually not make it a big nasty for loop, but you know. For performance, loops are where it is, man. Like, they can be embedded list dot somethings eventually, but oh, I put first in all these. Rip. can't believe I haven't written the first test yet. Is what it is. So now that I have a slot column for each, I can actually build one of these slot result call no, spin. I want a spin result. This. So spin result, so is it an array? So ideally I calculate these without having all of them in memory. You just inspire us to all work on our own project while watching your stream. That's a spirit. Okay, so a spin result, should it be an array? Yeah. So first, with this amount of repeatable code, you can't help but think you can extract some logic, make it reusable. So probably do it in a second. I think this is the code. I feel you can probably cache. It's kind of a balance of this 6, like these, the ones on the bottom should be cached because they're going to be created so often. This one is only going to get created 6 times. This one's going to get created 36 times. This one's going to get created 36 times 6 times. So if there's a million possibilities, let's try to calculate how much memory these are going to take. Let's make this a struct. Since rows, no, I don't want to make an array. No, that sounds like a bad idea. Yeah, so I think there is an argument for. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I'll do that in just in a second. I just want to make sure this code works first. So the test. This is now an array. I think. This still doesn't work. Ins doesn't. Really? I have to do that? Why does it still think that I'm going to be the type bool does not support the conversion? Okay, because I have to do this. Okay, that's why. Whatever. This should work. Okay. So it should be 4 because there is 4 rows now. So let's yellow it. Attempt number 2. Give me a line number. These are columns. Oh, this should be 1 to 4. Yeah. That's the problem. Because this should be 1 to 3. 0 to 3. Why did I think indices for this is for 4 rows? Why did I think I was doing columns? I don't know. Let's go. Almost first try. Let's actually let's do something fun. All the possibilities sequence. Iter. And these are spin results. So result. Let's print it out. This is more just for fun, but it's gonna be map, I think, because I'm going to use some async stuff. I just don't want it to I don't want it to print too fast. That's kind of why I'm doing it. This and then do so I do bang and then I do print fn, and then it's going to be with the new thingy. I'm actually not even going to do that. I'm going to do I can literally do old printf. And pass in a and spin result. Then you're going to define a toString. True. Why did I think of that? And then a spin resolved. Where's the spin result at? So should probably override this toString. Since this is a DU, I might have to do with. No, never mind. So let's do a match on X. All of these should be literals, I think. Might yeah, I don't want these to get created over and over again. Maybe it gets optimized. There's a chance that this gets optimized. I'm not sure. Let's leave it like that for now. Okay, that's good. I haven't defined my first whatever. Okay, I can probably do that. I don't need this thing anymore. Oh, this string's gonna be a lot bigger than I thought. That's fine. Let's start with the big implementation and reduce it afterwards. So it's gonna be first. And my firsts here are columns. So I have to do second column, first row here. So I'll do a function to print a row. Yeah, it's better if I have, I'll do straight accessing to the array. It's better to have access to that instead of first, fourth, whatever. Yeah. It's gonna be one ugly line of code. Oh, no, okay, I know how to do this. So I can do, oh, I have an embed, oh my god, okay. Okay. So I can do x dot columns, and then, for each of the columns, get the item. So here, what? Now I have a sequence of slot icons for a given row. No, these are for all columns. I actually want just the row, right? Oh, I do have just a row. So I have a row of items. And for each of the rows, so these are fun items. I want to string them. Could have done it here. Okay, so now the string representations of each of the slot icons, I can aggregate them with string.concat, and then you pass in a separator, and the separator is this. Yeah. So now I get a string for my row. And what I want is, I want a row string for each of the indices of rows, which I have not here. We can put it up somewhere, this. To be honest, I'll just put it static up in the module. I think it's fine. Did not copy the correct thing. So in Writer, you can do Alt-Shift dot, and then boom. That's just a little flex there, if you don't mind. And then x dot. No. So I do, so here, if I want all the representation, I can do indices, and then I can do sig.map. For each of the indices, I want the row. No, I want the row string that I have there. Then I want to string with the new line. Boom. Okay, and with that, I should have a nice representation of our results. So I mapped everything to an async there. And I think I want everything sequential. Now this thingy is not working too well. I'm not getting it out. Okay, there it is. So I want it done sequentially. Async ignore. Then I want to start. It's fun when code works. It's kind of doing like the Matrix, except you know, it's for degenerates. I wonder when it will end. 50 milliseconds. We have 4 to the power of 6. Should be done soon, to be honest. Soon. Not going to that meeting. So any questions? Anything about what we did so far? It's all good. Man, can't wait to get a new chair. Still sitting on my like. I broke a computer chair, so I'm basically sitting on this. One sec, I'll show you. I'm sitting on this right now. It's pretty bad. So, yeah, while this runs, I think I'm gonna go to the bathroom again and be right back. If you have any questions about what I did, just post in chat. Cool. I think I'm just going to oh, did it actually end? Cool. That was sick timing. Yeah, don't know what else to say right now. Okay. So next time I'll just remove this. What's the next step? I guess we should actually do this analyzer. Pardon me. This payout analyzer should not contain a bet. Wait, am I muted? Test 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. No, I'm not muted. Okay, cool. I want a payout analyzer that's like multiplicative of a bet. So you have 0 multiplier. You know, if you win your bet back, it's 1x. We could just literally call it unit measure that's x as times. You know. And so the expected value should be like around 0.95x at the end, which I don't think we'll have time today to write all the rules. It's just something to continue. So a spin result should grant without a bet a payout multiplier. And that is oh, did I put x? Yeah. So like 4x, 10x, 50,000x. No, something like that. Okay. And so this, yeah, should give us a payout multiplier. Spin result to payout multiplier, payout analyzer. I think that's good. I'll wrap this in the union. It should be fine. Oh, this should get the expected value. Yeah. So I originally put a type. It's called EV. EV is a expected value, if you're wondering. Cool. Now this works. So basically, it wasn't working because it was expecting payout analyzer to be the result, which it wasn't. Now I have expected value in place. So how to calculate this? Basically, configuration, all possibilities. I want to sequence map each of these to the multiplier, basically, which is get multiplier for spin result. So now I have a sequence of payout multipliers. Now we have just to think about some math here. How can we, because now we have a list of data and we want to reduce it. Pardon me. And we want to reduce it because we don't want all that in memory. So basically, ideally, you know, you create one of these possibilities, and then you create another. You map it to something, and you'll be able to reduce 2 data points, so you won't have to have the previous spin result in memory. And that's how you do like transformations and calculations on large amounts of data sets. Is you lazily evaluate what you need, and you don't hold everything in memory, so you don't allocate all that on your machine. So that's kind of the point of the sequences in this case. Why don't I make sure I want to have sequences, not arrays? And you know, if you deal with billions of possibilities, you know, it'll just be an amount of time that's necessary, because you don't need to have billions of things in memory. You only have to have 2 at a time, and you can actually parallelize the operation even further if you want. You can split up the big chunk of possibilities. You can have you know, instead of 1 reader of the stream, you can have like 10, let's say 4 readers of the stream. And when I say stream, it's this sequence. The sequence of spin results. You can have like multiple threads reading from that sequence if it's thread safe. And to be honest, historically, enumerables are not that. You don't want to carry them across threads, but you might be able to have. Since what we're reading from is immutable, I think that should be fine. Because basically enumerables. Hopefully, I'm not explaining this in the complete like nothingness of the world, but because I feel these are kind of important concepts. Enumerables are kind of like pointers on collections or pointers on anything, right? It's like kind of like the iterator pattern, enumerator pattern, or something like that. And they point onto real stuff, right? In our case, real stuff is arrays. And so the arrays are immutable. Well, okay, they are mutable. You can mutate each of the data points, but in our code, we are not mutating them. So they'll essentially be the same thing all the time. And the sequences will kind of like just increment a pointer on the enumeration, right? And so right now we only have 1 person reading. Is there like parallel on this? I think there's only parallel on arrays. But there's definitely things we can do about this. I just hope these sequences are thread safe. So actually, let's play around with that afterwards. We can compare implementation, one with no async and the other one with parallel async, on like a large data set, see how that works and if it's viable or not. And making sure that it's the same value. So we can have multiple implementations of this check of a expected value. And another thing is, like, if I have 15 billion things to check, I can use multiple processes, like even multiple machines to do the calculation and stuff like that. There's just some math questions I have right now. I know this will fail, but I just want this to compile. So, like, how do I reduce this, you know? So I have 0.5 and then 1. The expected value of that is 75. Because you add the 2 and then you divide them by 2. Right? It's kind of the average. It's the average operation. If I add 0, then I should get 0.5. Right? You have 1, 0, 0.5. It becomes 0.5. But I can't do, 0.75. And I can't average these because average these doesn't work. So what I have to do is I have to do 0.75. And I have to do this times 2 because there's 2 data points in this. And then I have to do plus this. And then I have to do divide by now the total number, which is 3. Right? So if I make a function like that, I can make it foldable at scale, I think. Right? Is anyone following this? Alright, I'm essentially alone here. That's all good. I think this is fine. So I think that's the deal. So maybe my expected value okay, this is cool. My expected value can take a total number, the sum of EV I just hope the number's not going to be too big. It'll be fine. Yeah, I think an N64 is like huge. But I'm not using N64, I'm using decimal. How big is a decimal? Okay, it is gigantic. Never mind, we'll be good. I think we'll be good here. I think we'll be good. I think we're good. Cool. So sum of EV. I want to put the unit of measure so I don't screw it up. Or EV sum. Then I can have count, which would be a uint 64. And then that should be fine. And then as a member, my ID is going haywire here, but that's fine. So it's x dot sum of EV divided by count, x dot count, and now I can't divide this by that, so I have to decimal this. Now my ID is going nuts. And I have to add a type of measure that is EV count if I want to make this legit. And these will work off of each other. So an EV, which I'll put last, is actually a EV sum divided by an EV count. And my thing here will be an EV count. I don't know if you guys saw that. Oh, you probably did. There's like a lamp behind me. Oops. So basically, this uint needs to be converted. This uint of int64 needs to be converted to a decimal of uint64 for this operation. Might as well just keep it as a decimal then. No, I actually don't want to keep it as a decimal. That sucks so hard. So member private count to decimal and how do I add okay, I can just multiply 1 m and then put EV count. Boom. As decimal. Boom. This should equal out if I do decimal of EV. Boom. We're back. Cool. Now I have a decimal of expected value. I feel like closing my D, but reopening it. Okay, I only had to do that. It's a bit buggy sometimes with that. Okay, we're good. So basically what I did here is I took count, I converted it to a decimal because normally it's an N64, and then I multiply it by it's kind of like a unitary vector. I don't know what's the word in English for that, but like a vector of one in another unit. Anyway, so we're good. We have a decimal EVV here, and I think one thing that would be cool is to add an EV here, and to get another, because like let's say if I want to fold it, which like we want to reduce it, so we're automatically kind of folding. I want to add an EV value to our kind of like in progress value. So let's see how that can work. X.add EV, and then we'll have an amount. So EV, which is a decimal of EV. How I do that is, EV. What time is it? Damn, it's already 1:40. Jesus, I'm having a lot of fun. I think I'll continue. Oh, it should probably be EV, not X. So this will be equal to X with, so X is a reference to this. I should probably call it this then, to help people. This with count equals to this dot count plus 1, and I think it's Y for unsigned, or U, it's unsigned. Y is byte. Oh, it has to be 1 EV count. I just have to check what's the prefix for unsigned 64. UL. Oh, long. Yeah, it makes sense. Bro, I thought I had the UMX. Unsigned 64. What's UL? I think I'm getting trolled here. I think Isaac, this is what he meant with the trolling. umx.tag. I have to do an unsafe cast though. I'll just use an int. Screw the unsafe. Screw the unsigned. So this is the count, and the new sum of EV is going to be this dot sum of EV plus EV, right? That's fine. Oh, okay, multiplies by a count. Boom, okay. Don't like I have to multiply though. Okay. So, but now this construct is super foldable. I think. So now they have a map of spin results. I have a sequence of payout multipliers. And payout multipliers are x times isn't x times the same thing as kind of an EV, kind of? They are both fractions of a bet size. They're kind of the same in different contexts. You better hope your expected value is not the 100x if you're the owner of the slot machine. But I think conceptually they are. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is okay, so what I'm gonna do is when you add an x here. No. I'm gonna change all the EVs to be x, I think. Because that's the unit, in my opinion. The unit is a multiplier. And I want the expected value to be 0.95, the multiplication of the input. But I'm gonna call it x still. I'm gonna call it EV here, which makes this super compatible. Cool. That's good. And so when I spin, I get a times something, and then I add that to the thing. So sequence, not reduce. I actually want map. I think fold. Sorry. Sequence, not fold. And so my beginning state is going to be it's the default state for expected value. If I have no operations, I have the same money I put in, which is 1. So I can private this. So I could start at 0, 0. It means I would have to handle the 0 case. Which is fine because it's an int. Fixed. Is there any other case which screws me over? I think this is fine. I think some of cool. I have to go to the bathroom again. It is what it is, man. Be right back. Boom. So now we have our default expected value. We want to fold so we can do a fun state, which is the expected value, and we want our new multiplier should be equal to new multiplier dot no, it should be ev dot, yeah, ev dot new multiplier. Add ev. I should probably annotate this. New multiplier. It's not helping me at all. And then the default state, which is expected value dot default. Boom. And wow, everything compiles. It's kind of nuts. Cool. So, how can I write a test for this? There's probably a lot of ways I can write a test for this, but let's make a default slot wheel, just for now. And then I kind of already made something here. I think this can be an array. So a slot wheel. And let's say my default I'm just doing these default to make the code compile, to be honest. Okay, so I have a default slot wheel configuration. Now I can just like play around with the analyzer. I can like just make a fake one, I guess. Well, okay. Let's make like really simple tests first. So let's make some payout analyzers for tests. Payout analyzer, fun, whatever the result is, it will always be default expected value dot add 0 x, and it should be m. Oh, and it has to be times to be a. I'm starting to think I don't need the this construct, the payout multiplier. Yeah, it can't be negative. Is there unsigned decimals? Probably not. Probably dreaming Technicolor here. There are not. Okay. Let's wrap it in this times then. Oh, this gives me an expected value. That's right. Yeah, I don't have to do this. I can just do that. Boom. So this is the always 1, and this is always 0, and the always 1. So let's, if I write a few tests here, call it get expected value. And so standard, let standard configuration analyzer is equal to get expected value, and I can partially apply the slot machine configuration default. So I just give it a payout analyzer, get the expected value back. So I just want to make sure that if I pass standard configuration analyzer and it's always 0, and that gets me an expected value. So this dot expected value should be equal to okay, so maybe a test like this could be a very good like property-based test where a constant expected a constant multiplier, if I check the expected value of that, it should always give me back whatever rate I put in, right? Hopefully that's understandable. Oh, wait, no. I shouldn't do that anymore. That was just for fun. I kind of already did this. This is the reduced data set. Let's try with the big data set. Wait. To be honest, at this point, I should just restart my damn IDE. Yeah, I'll just... Okay, I can do that. Cool. Probably takes a long time. Oh, did I remove? Oh, I think I removed some stuff. Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah. It is equal true. Cool. And I can do a few of these. And I can actually do a few of these. So I can do like always x, and then I put the multiplier, and I pass this multiplier here, and then I'll do a so EV is constant if multiplier is constant, and this is the analyzer. Let analyzer. So I'm kind of making like little tests here, and they're kind of like property-based tests. Though because I'm in a scripting environment, I don't have like FS check running or anything like that. But I'll probably do that later. So this is kind of like a nice little property-based test, you know. And so, you know, whatever number between whatever, like this or whatever I put here, this should always be true. So I'm expecting to get a list of trues here. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. I don't really have yeah, I don't know what else. Well, I can do a lot of tests here, but because I haven't defined analyzing logic for a spin result, right? Then I'll have to do more research on how it actually works in field. But we're at a cool spot, man. You know, we did a lot of slot wheels. We did a lot of expected value logic. Basically what I think I'll have is the analyzer will be a bunch of rules. On each bin result, you analyze each of the rules. And then that'd be good to go. One thing that can be cool is how long does this take? So if I only do this, I can do timer, time, and then time off, I think. This is on. I don't remember exactly the wording here. One sec. Yeah, there's that, but there's I don't know if this is the case. I'm pretty sure that's not correct, but okay, I guess that's correct. So that didn't take a lot of time at all, which is good news. What if I double the number of items in the slot wheel? So let's put 2 of these, let's put 3 of these, let's put 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, let's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, let's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I've been adding 1 each. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Could have just repeated with in it, but whatever. It's still like a fraction. Is it doing everything? Man, I'm kind of like confused how fast that is. Guess I'm unrealistically Oh wait. This is getting eagerly done. So this should be a lazy. We definitely don't want to always do this. And it should be only be done once. And at what level is this getting done? Well, okay, for now, that's the thing, it's that will only get executed once every time I run this. Let's do a unit for now. Maybe it is really that fast, to be honest. I'm just kind of surprised. And you would never normally do unit plus lazy. I'm just doing that for laziness. I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical, but you know, could be the case. Cool. I'm curious what this so this is let result. Let's see how many times it's actually executing this. Or actually I can do that myself at the end. I can do this let result is equal to, oh, this is actually just a boolean, so let's do it here. And then expected value dot count, super curious. $4,096. That seems a lot lower than I have in mind. That's almost, that has got to be a problem with the code. Unless I'm doing my math wrong. I might be forgetting some columns here. Okay, so 1, 2, let's just check that. So slot wheel dot default, then crap. Just for now. So I have 45. And I'm sure like I did the so all possibilities. This should definitely give me wait, add EV, this sum plus EV times 1, yeah. Configuration, I'm passing in default configuration. Wheels, we have an array of 6, and then default wheel slot, yeah, that's 45. Icons, so a slot wheel, this is a given slot column. What's 45 to the power of 4? I mean, it's 4090. 1 sec. Someone's at the door. I'm back. I just got my new chair. Like I said earlier, I was sitting on my kitchen chair, and I just got my other chair delivered, so that's good. Where was I? Yeah, I was investigating this. Kind of feels weird that there's 4096 only. Counts of expected value. So if I do the square root of 6, of 4000, okay, so if I do 4, oh, that's the square root. That's not what I want. I want okay, I want it to the power of math is pretty far right now, but I feel this is what I want. So it feels as though I'm still doing math based with on my wheel that has 4 values instead of doing it on all the on all the wheels. And if you're just joining, you might be mixed up. But and I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing here. Okay, yeah. Okay. So what that means is there's 2 things. I might be yeah, so that's definitely fine. It's when I'm doing the calculations I feel, oh, I'm only getting, okay, I think this is probably the problem. I'm only doing 1 out of 4. Why am I doing 1 out of 4 here? Okay, nah, I think that's the problem. Is this should be based on the number of items in the wheel, not based on the number of items in the spin result. Yeah, that's the problem. So here, yeah, that's the problem. So it's this. So I should do x dot first dot array length, I guess. Okay, well, assuming they are all of equal length, I can just watching your channel a bit, cool. Assuming they're all of the same length, I could just do let. Oh, they might not be all the same length. I don't know that yet, and so I'll just play it safe and first length is equal to x dot first dot and then I do array length. Probably repeating myself a lot. Then second. Oh, then I have to do yeah, then I have to do okay. Crap. I have to set this over again. So I do length, and then I have to do kind of like 0 to the, but I want to do a function for that. So if I do length and then let to index list is going to be equal to 0 dot dot Now I have to do the same thing for each of these, but I mean, they, like, most probably they'll be the same length, but I'm just not sure, and I don't want to introduce new bugs. So what I'll do is, I shouldn't be doing that. You know what? This is so dumb. Yeah, this is. I have a. This one. Yeah, I think the other way I was doing is way better. Yeah, I should just keep going. Yeah, I'll okay. Screw this. Screw this crap. So this is good. Then I have like a list of arrays for. Well, wait, I already have that, and it's called wheels. Oh, I'm an idiot. X.wheels. Then array.map. So for each of these, I want to do fun. My eyes are kind of giving out at this point, so I think I'm gonna edit soon-ish. I have array, and I want to do array.length. And then with the length, I want to pass it to index list. Doesn't this not work? Why? Why would this be a function? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is fine. Will I consider to do smaller VODs of topics you'll cover on stream? I don't know. I think, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I think I'll still do some videos, sometimes, but they'll just be more, or less frequent. And I want this to be an array. Control R, and then can do it like that, I guess. Not turbo cool, but whatever. For now. Oh, I might do this more often, so or I'm going to do this every time I do that, so I actually don't, unless this is a consolidated array, which it is, so that's fine. Alright, let's run this. Okay, okay, now it's taking a lot more time, which makes sense. That's actually what I was wondering beforehand. I thought it would take a lot of time, so. What time is it? 2:30? So I'm glad it's taking a lot of time because I want to optimize it. Because this is so long. This will be allocated many times. Like just caching this, maybe these ones. And I don't think I want to create arrays every time when I do this. Take up so much memory. I think every time, on every iteration, I want to pass okay, this is pretty long. Let's see with the smaller data set that I had, and of course I removed it. Come on, man. Beauty of F# sometimes. Yeah, this allocation rate is gonna be pretty nuts. I wonder if instead of building these arrays of arrays of arrays and stuff, we can just pass a construct that will contain the indices and the different underlying data. Because what's this column? It's an array of indices. Every time it's going to be on the heap, and then I have this record, which is yeah, man. Oh, I'm building. Holy cow, man! Of course. So I think the underlying data type here is going to be a value tuple. And we'll have a member to get the slot icons if you want them. But before we do all that, let's work with a sample data set and see what the number is right now. So I heavily reduced the okay. So with the data set that we just had, now it went down to 0.1. I don't know what the hell this is. I think it's a. So this is probably a second. So I think it's 100 milliseconds. If I add 1, it goes up 50 milliseconds. Jesus, man. And if I remove 1, I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but for every item I add, it's like exponentially worse. So we're doing a lot of well, I mean we don't really have a choice in a lot of ways, but I think we can optimize a lot. Like this. Well, there's your problem, you know. Some of this is unavoidable though. Like, unless someone has a strat for that. Let's try to optimize the cost of all this. And so here, instead of creating rows, so a column result, we're not going to send them a column result unless we can. So instead of the rows being an array of slot icons, we can have an array of indices, or just a tuple of indices, just a bunch of numbers. They can even be bytes at that point, because they can be bytes because we're not going to have more than like 256 items on the wheels. So that's one thing, and then we can reduce the allocations of each of these things. Man, this is like a hugely intensive operation, you know. Well, it seems to scale linearly with the number of results that we have. So we have 262,000 results into 42 milliseconds. And if I go back and I add one of these, it doubles. So when I add an item to the wheel, it doubles the amount of results that we have, or possible results, right? So if we do the math, wow, and it like, yeah, it heavily increased this. What was I gonna do? Didn't I do this already? So if my wheel size is 10, you know, I have to do and it's 9 in our case. So that's that same number. So every time that you add 1, it's like a pretty nutty exponential curve. Cool. I think I might stop it here for today. My eyes are getting tired and stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun. Let me commit this. Where's the ignore? I think this is the pattern. I'm not 100% sure anymore. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so here's where I'll stop for the day. Might continue this pretty soon. You never know. I'll update you guys on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that, and Slack if I go back online. So make sure to follow me on Twitter and YouTube and everything. I have way less energy than when I started the stream. I guess that's normal. Cool, man. Thanks for coming out. I hope you enjoyed this. We did a lot of progress, to be honest. Pretty satisfied with that. And yeah, looking forward to continue this. Cool. So thanks for coming out, and I'll see you soon. Peace.